All right, I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna stay strong for this video. But what's going on YouTube? How's everyone doing on this lovely Friday night? This is Mike in the house, and today I'm gonna do something a little different. Um, I'm gonna do a tribute. Actually, it's more of a tribute than anything else. It's not gonna be any movie reviews. It's not gonna be any like movie questions or anything like that. But well, if you have movie questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. But Q Smooth, what's good? So this Saturday, this past Saturday, actually tomorrow would be a week. It would be week since my dad passed away. Um, Last Saturday, just this past Saturday, about pretty much almost a week ago, um, my dad passed away with cancer, and he had actually, it was funny too because like one minute you think your parents will live forever, and then the next minute, bam, they just drop off the face of the earth. Um, yeah, cancer took my dad, and he was survived by um, two brothers, a father, and a son and a daughter, which that's my sister. We have the same daddy and stuff, but we don't have the same mother. But that's besides the point. Um, it's been a hard few days. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's been tough because I was in the hospital. Um, I was in the hospital with him, and mind you, all right, I'll give you a timeline. So, I'm gonna give you a short version of this. I'm not gonna go into way too much detail, but he's been in a nursing home for the past couple of years, because he had like a slip and fall accident and stuff like that, and he lost part of his memory. He has short term memory loss, but he can remember like shit that happened years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a man, he grew up in Detroit. He was one of the nicest people that you'll ever meet, one of the smartest people you ever meet. And, it's funny because I would never thought in a million years that I would lose a parent. You know what I'm saying? I would never thought in a million years. So, once he was in hospital, now I will admit, I was hesitant to go see him because me and him, we didn't have the best relationship. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not going to exactly get into that much detail with that, but we didn't have the best relationship. But the type of relationship we had, it was, I can't say it was bad, but could also say that it wasn't that great either. Like, yes, we may have butt heads and stuff like that, yes. But, you know, I just wish I had more time. I wish I had more time with them because, when I first heard that he was diagnosed with the cancer, uh we would, I finally, had the courage, But before he even went to hospital, I had the courage to tell him, I told him how I felt. You know what I'm saying? Like I told him how I felt. I told him how, you could have been a better father. You could have been this, you could have been that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't come to this, you didn't come to that. You just wasn't there. And, you know, I could tell he felt guilty. He felt guilty for not being there. And I get that. And I respect that. So it made me feel a lot better the fact that I told him how I felt before he ended up having health issues. Well, um, mind you, um, you know, my mother and my dad was never married, mind you. But that's besides the point. But um so it was around late September, early October. And this was probably a week after my cat. For those of you who have been rocking with me since day one, I used to have an orange cat, right? And my cat passed away, and I was just grieving over that. And I got the news, I got a phone call, and I remember it as clear as day because I was at a mall with my friend. I got a phone call saying that my dad may have cancer and it might be stage 4. And I get a call from my sister, and she's like, "Your dad has cancer, in a stage, it might be stage 4. He's in the hospital." So I'm like, "Am I about to lose another person?" You know what I mean? Like, am I about to lose another person? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just grieving over the loss of my cat. Then now my own parent has a stage 4 cancer. So I told myself, I said, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna go visit him as much as possible. I'm gonna go visit him in the hospital. And I had a new job where I said, fuck my new job. I'm gonna go visit him. I visited him at the hospital. He was happy to see me. We were like laughing and we were talking and stuff like that. So then he went back to the nursing home. And, once now, when he was in the hospital, it was confirmed that he had stage 4 cancer. It was confirmed at that particular time. And the doctors pretty much said it's nothing they can do. It's already spreading. So I told my uncle, I told him, I says, you know, I want to see him. Whenever you see him, I want to go see him. I want to see him as much as possible. I remember we had many conversations. At first I was kind of like nervous to see him, but this is the first time I saw him, s- you know, uh, uh, f- since maybe I want to say maybe 3, 4 years. And, he looked good. You know what I mean? Like he looked good. He was still look almost the same. And one of the um one of the conversations we had a nice conversation. He remembered everything. And it was one of my uncles that called in, and he was like, "I'll call you back. I'm talking to my son." Out of the 37 years, he gave me he gave me the best present that he could have ever gave me. And he told me that, you know, I love you. He told me that. But the fact that he told his brother that I'll call you later, I'm talking to my son. Of all the gifts he's given me over the 37 years, That was the best gift he ever gave me. And it put my mind at ease because I didn't hate him. It was just I had reservations and I had mixed emotions. And also I had I was hesitant to go see him. So I was talking to a couple people. I was talking to my mother, and I was talking to a couple of friends. Like, yeah, you should go see him. As much as you can. So I did, and I didn't promise because I don't make promises. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So as I was visiting, the nursing homes, and I was visiting him. We had a conversation. We had, good conversations. We had good conversations about music. You know what I mean? I mean, one of his favorite bands is Pat Benatar, you know what I mean, and Def Leppard, you know what I'm saying? And he loved his Def Leppard, pour some sugar on me, one of his favorite songs. You know what I'm saying? And he loved anything Def Leppard. He used to love Pink Floyd, you know what I mean? Like what he would do is because he was he was at one point close with my aunt and my mother. He used to call my mother Pat Benatar because her first name was Pat. Um, my aunt's name is Stephanie, so he used to call her Steph Leopard. You know what I'm saying? And my other auntie, her name was Pink. Her name is Pink. So he used to call her Pink Floyd. He had a lot of nicknames for people. You know what I mean? Like he had a bunch shitload of names for people. And he was one of a kind. He was nice, and everybody, you can even think of. He used to tell me, your father's funny. You got your father's features. You got your father's sense of humor. You got your father's voice. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why I put all my anger and all my frustration. I'm gonna tell you why I let it go. And I let it go was because, you know, I feel like I need to spend as much time with him as possible. You know what I mean? You don't know what could happen. He can go at any moment. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it felt good to visit him. So I wanted to keep visiting him. I wanted to devote my weekends. I wanted to devote any time off, to go visit him. I mean, hell, I took time off. Hell, I even Ubered when he was in the hospital, back in September. I Ubered there. You know what I'm saying? And it was just nice to see him. You know what I'm saying? But as the months progressed, he got a little worse. He wasn't as, eating and stuff like that. I mean, he ate, when I was there. Maybe I gave him the bones to sin him, I don't know. But um, Christmas Eve, I got to spend time with him and stuff like that. And, it was nice. And, he wasn't very talkative, you know what I mean? We were watching the Lions game. We was watching, like we was watching games, you know what I mean? We was watching football games. But I didn't think that would be the last time that I would see him. I didn't think that would be my last Christmas with him. So I had a call, of course, from my sister. It was on Thursday. And, she was like, your father's in the hospital. He was following the spouse off. He's just getting worse and worse and worse. So they're gonna have to pull the plug. And it's like, do you want to see him one last time? And I told her, I said, yeah, I want to see him one last time because that's my father. You know what I'm saying? And so last Saturday, I went up to the hospital and I saw him and I held his hand and I held his hand and I told him, I says, you know what? I'm gonna remember those. Like, I'm gonna remember everything that you said. I'm gonna remember the conversations. I'm gonna remember, like, our moments there. You know what I mean? And it felt so great. And I held his hand, and mind you, he was in a coma. And I held his hand, and I told him, I wish I had more time with you, man. Like, well, this has been we've been the closest throughout the whole 37 years. And mind you, I'm 37. And it felt, when I tell you, watching me and my family, we were just, they were gonna, um, he was gonna transition around 6 o'clock that evening. And me and my family, we would gather and we played. My sister was there, you know what I mean? And, him and my sister, they didn't, the latter years, get, they didn't, they stopped talking to each other. They stopped talking to each other for a long while. And I'm not going to go into much detail about that, but the fact that she came up there to the hospital, the fact that she came up there, that says a lot. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have that much resentment. But all in all, my father was never a bad guy. He was a good person. He was a good person that was gone way too soon. And, you know, I realized that I just gained, another guardian angel. You know what I mean? To watch over. And, you know, as I'm, sitting here, talking to you guys, and I wanted to do this tribute because I think it would make you feel better. You know what I mean? And it does. It makes me feel shit ton better. And it comes to show you that, if you have any beef that you have, especially with a loved one, like, you need to squash it because you don't know. Like, you just don't know when that person can go. They can go at any time and any day. You just have to squash it. You have to put your pride aside. You know what I'm saying? You can't force everybody to do it, but we are, I liked how we all gathered around, and we just prayed over him. And, as they was getting ready to do the transition process. So once they do the transition process, once they did that, he, it took 10 minutes and he opened his eyes for a hot sec. That's when he was gone. He's gone. My dad's gone. You know, they brother's gone. They cousin's gone. They uncle's gone. Me and my sister's dad, it's gone. But it's not bye, I'll see you later. type of thing. You know what I mean? And am I taking it the hardest? Yeah, I am taking it. I am taking it. I'm taking it very hard. And I'm pretty sure my grandfather, he's taking it the hardest. He lost his son. And I'm pretty sure his brothers are taking it. Three brothers. He's survived by three brothers. Excuse me, three brothers. Let me correct myself. So I wanted to do this tribute because, you know, in case people knew how, if I was, if I'm not as posting any videos and if I'm not as cheery as stuff like that as usual, and it's nothing against, that. It's just, yeah, that's what's basically happening. So honestly, grievance has no expiration date. You know what I mean? And tomorrow's gonna be the 1 week anniversary. You know what I mean? And who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? Like who knows? Like I could be in a good mood or I could be in a bad mood. You know what I'm saying? I could be, in a worse mood or I could be in a good mood. I might be in a good mood. Who knows? You just don't know. So I say this to everybody who's going through it or whose relative is going through it. If you have a mom or a dad, you need to cherish them as much as possible. I mean, I'm down to one parent. I'm down to one grandmother. down to one grandfather. I have only one sister. I got aunties and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I lost my old dude. I lost my OG. You know what I'm saying? And even though he wasn't all there for me, he loved me no matter what. He was he's somebody that I could easily say that I'm pretty much in content. I'm pretty much at peace of the fact that I told him how I felt. I'm pretty much in a peace of the fact that he went out peacefully. And that made me feel better. I thought I was going to get way more emotional than this, but I mean, I've been emotional for weeks, beforehand. But talking about it makes me feel a hell of a lot better because, it's good to talk about these things. You know what I'm saying? It really is. It's very good to talk about it. You know what I mean? So, um, my dad's favorite food, I have no idea what his favorite food is. I don't think anybody does. I think he liked anything. I mean, he liked green beans. I knew he liked soul food because I'm gonna tell you this. I remember, when he come home from work or whatever. I mean, he'll go up to that. It's funny because he'll go up to like a soul food restaurant or something like that, when he come home from work, or he'll go up to his favorite like bar or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And the bar, mind you, was up the street. I used to live in Detroit. So like, oh yeah, he's at he's here. You know what I mean? I went in there a couple of times. I'm not gonna lie. He took me in there, and I'm not gonna lie, they had the best orange juice. I'm not gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? Like they had some good stuff. They had some good food though. I remember the food was good. I wish they were still open. You know what I mean? Cause hell, like man. It's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like his favorite food, like I don't know. I think he liked anything. You know what I mean? He liked his wrestling. You know what I'm saying? He loved the WWE. You know, he loved movies too. He liked to watch movies. You know, he loved his sports. You know what I'm saying? And you know that's where I got that from. You know, watching sports. And you know, and it's funny too because you know my dad. You know, he was man. He was my dad was something else. You know what I mean? My dad, he shit talk. I ain't gonna hold you. Maybe I got part of that. I got that from him. Part of that. You know what I mean? Like he'll speak his mind, but at the same time, he is giving though. You know what I'm saying? He was giving. Like he'll give when he had it. You know what I'm saying? But I remember one day. Let me tell you something. The funniest shit I ever saw. I remember one day he he went he I was snooping around. I was just looking and I think I sat in his chair one day. I think he went there and mind you, I'm looking at his phone bill. I'm like, damn, your phone bill cheap. You know, his phone bill nothing but $25. You know, mind you, that was back when long distance was you could be up the street. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ain't got the same area code, they consider that shit long distance. And mind you, that was a Medtech. You know, and Michigan Bell and all them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like, and operator had to call him. They had to call him, and like, are you still using your phone? Uh huh. I'm still using my phone. And I remember when he used to I used to have to call him because he wouldn't answer his phone. Well, my dad, he would not answer his phone for nothing. I used to call upstairs and my grandmother, may she rest in peace. My grandmother, she like she was like, hello? And I'm like, hey, can I speak to my dad? He's like, did you call down there? Michael ain't answer the phone. And they're like, no. First thing I heard, Michael. Michael? Boy, answer that phone. And the first day when he answered the phone, he like, hello. He used to get mad. And like, yeah, I just called you. He was like, why you call my phone? It's like, I just called you. Like that, I just called your phone. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Man, I swear, like you look at the phone like it's sworn. Yeah. And my dad was like that. And you know what? I'm not gonna hold you. I get some of that from him because I look at someone's phone. I look at the phone. I look at them. I was like, nope, I don't want to talk to you right now. You know what I'm saying? When people message me, I'm like, nope, I'm not dealing with this right now. I mean, so sometimes I don't blame them. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, no wonder why he's like he want to save money. He want look he want to use that phone as little as possible to pay as little as possible. That's a smart ass strategy. I ain't gonna hold you, man. My father was smart as fuck. He was like, if it ain't important, don't talk to me. He'd be in that basement. He'd be just chilling down there. You know what I'm saying? Watching his wrestling, watching TV. You know, be falling asleep, taking naps and all that stuff. You know, when I tell you when he be going out, he be looking sharp as fuck, boy. We and I get some of that shit from him. He be wearing that cologne, he be spraying that cologne and shit. I get that from him too. I get that from my mother. Shit, man. Like he something else. I'll tell you what. But all in all though, my dad was a good guy. He was a good guy and a lot of people say I have his features. I'm like, features where? A lot of people say I favor my mother. You know what I'm saying? I favor my mother, which, okay, I see that. I remember one time, like, I think me and my mother was out, and this one dude was like, "Are you guys husband and wife?" Husband and wife? I'm like, nigga, that's my mother. That's my mama. What the fuck? Husband and wife. And then, like, another thing was, they thought that my mother was my sister because we look alike. I'm like, no, that's my mother. You know what I'm saying? She don't look her age at all. You know what they say, black don't crack. She don't look her damn age at all. My dad didn't look at his age either. I'm not gonna hold you though. When I saw him for the hospital last time, and I was on the phone with my mother, and you know, she asked me, the first thing she asked me was like, "How's your dad looking?" I told her, it's like, "He looks beautiful. He looks beautiful." And it was just, we kind of had a moment. Yeah, we were like, well, we're gonna stay strong for the family, and and we did. We stayed strong. So this is, I'm gonna do things. I'm gonna do some things like I'm gonna do some things that my dad would do, and then I'm gonna do some things that I think my dad would be proud of. For most of you know that I don't drive. I don't really drive, or all that good shit. I told myself, I says, I am going to get a car. So which that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to get my license finally this year, and I'm going to get a car. My dad up there, because I remember my dad be ragging like, "Boy, you don't have a car yet." I'm like, "No, I don't have a car yet. I can't afford a car." And okay, I can't afford a car yet. But I told him last time it was last. It was a conversation. This was like a couple years ago. I told him, I was like, "Well," he's like, "You still don't have your license yet?" I was like, "I don't have my license, but I drive. I know how to drive. I just don't have my license yet." You know what I'm saying? So he was like, "Oh wow, you drive?" I was like, "Yeah, I drive, but I just don't have my license. I have my license yet." So I made a promise to myself, and I want to make a promise to my dad that I'm going to get my license. I think he'll be very proud, and I'm going to get a car, which he'll also be proud. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to get the same car as he. I ain't get the same one. Yeah, I swear. When he has cars, but boy, man, he had like he has one car fly as fuck. They don't make them no more. But I'm like, man, I he could drive. My dad can drive. You know what I'm saying? And he be playing music and stuff. He loved rock. He loved a lot of rock. You know what I'm saying? And he liked Public Enemy too. I remember him liking it because I remember him having it on cassette. So I think I'm gonna get a couple. I think I'm gonna get a couple of vinyls when I go back shopping for vinyls for the memory of my dad. I am gonna get Pat Benatar, Pink Floyd, Def Leppard. I'm gonna get those. Just for him. So yeah, man. I wanted to come on here. Anyways, I wanted to come on here. Yeah, I wanted to, say all this stuff. You know what I mean? It actually made me feel better. And I thought it was gonna go, and it went well, surprisingly. You know what I mean? It went well. Um, it actually went better than I thought. I thought it was gonna be very emotional. I mean, I was a little emotional, in the beginning, but now now it's like, you know, I could heal. I could say that I'm at peace now because not only I finally got to tell him how I felt, but I got to see him one last time. And I got to see him go out peacefully. And that's what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? So my advice to y'all is, mind your parents. You only get one parent and can nobody replace that. Whatever beef you have with your parents, just remember, you only get one parent. They still your parent. Whether you love them, you hate them. So just every moment you have with your parent, your guardian, or whoever, took care of you. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever hold a grudge. And that goes for, anybody. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever hold a grudge. Cause trust me, you will regret it for the rest of your life. You will regret when they gone and you holding a grudge, you will regret. So with that being said, I'm gonna cut out here. Um you'll see me in the next video, definitely. So tomorrow I'll be on the lookout for a new video that's coming up. So yeah. Um so anyways, I wanted to come on here and share this with you guys. And it made me feel a lot better. It took a lot out of me to do this, but I finally did it. So with this all being said, this is Mike's Movie Corner and More, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.